shall we go?
Let's do this.
Let us shall.
Right, I shall employ my Winnie the Pooh narration voice. Oh, also, just like for the benefit of the tape, if I randomly have to disappear to get a parcel or package, as you US folks call it, from the front door, I'm sorry about that. You guys will just have to talk in character for a bit.
An envelope.
Envelope.
Yes, that would be a very, very small package.
Delivery.
Okay.
Parcel.
Yeah. So yes, welcome, ladies and morons, as the plankton would say. Let's get going.
Wait. Are your parcels delivered by owl?
I wish that would be so cool. Although the larger ones, I would start to feel bad for the owls. I'm just gonna drink some water because my voice is, of course, like as soon as I have to start talking properly, my voice is like. Okay. Everybody imagine like nice soft 1950s Disney backtrack opening. Okay, so our story opens literally a very nice handcrafted hardback leather book with gilt wording of the title slowly opens up while the camera swings over and down into the establishing shot as per tradition. On a quiet, mild, drizzly morning in a town made of blue-grey roofs and warm wooden boarding situated up to the midwest of the Ghibli Empire. This triangular province lies close to the eccentric land of UPA, as well as the easternmost borders of the Dreamworkers. As a consequence, it has become something of a melting pot of cultures and a keyframe centre of trade. In this busy little town, Toonkind from all walks of life mingle. Some have travelled from the farthest reaches of Inkwell or even the Lisp Alliance, I have no idea how to say that, to ply their trade, experience the tranquil beauty of the surrounding lands, and of course, partake in the main specialty of this hub, which is food. Hooray! The entire Ghibli Empire is famous for its mouth-watering culinary arts, and the tavern we find the camera drifting towards is no exception. In fact, it is pleasantly packed, though not overfull, with both people and plates present for the mid-morning squeeze for optimal eating before the lunchtime crunch. This particular establishment is renowned for its pies, unique in the region, boasting a delicious baked-to-perfection claymation crust, thanks to the Armenian landlady cum chef, a rotund and jovial chicken whose head can occasionally be spotted speeding along at tabletop height, either underneath a long scroll of orders on the way to the kitchen or a staggering number of trays coming from it. So, everybody in the designated order, could you introduce yourself, your character, and what are they eating?
All right, well, I am Yuni. My character's name is Fran Caddy, or just Fran. She is a Toonkind who is humanoid in nature. She has sort of grayish green hair and very tall in stature, especially for a Toonkind. She's well over 6 feet. And burly in nature, but mostly in the forearm area, as they are wont to do. And she is enjoying a very large, very heavily adorned burger.
Go wrong with a good burger. That's an excellent start.
Is it?
It's Cranky's turn.
Yes. I'm Cranky, and my character is Colin Blank, a short, trench-coated, hatted rubber pro, and he is currently munching away at donuts with coffee.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I like the hard-boiled edge you've got going for that.
Yeah, it's got so much milk in it.
Is it a flat light or a latte?
I don't know.
What the hell is a flat light?
Basically a latte with it's a latte with less foam, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't drink coffee.
It's a boring latte. Yeah. Okay, Kai, you're up.
I thought it was Alan. Yeah, so I'm Kai. I'm playing Charlie, who is a worn bard, and he looks like a cat. He definitely did not actually buy any food, but he's still eating some anyway because he's just been kind of nicking bits and pieces off other people's plates. So far, I reckon
As cats do.
pretty much. I reckon he possibly, like, depending if Cranky will allow it, probably managed to nick one of the donuts off of there.
Let's roll for that.
Yeah, sure thing. Sleight of hand.
That would be perception for me, I reckon. So that's a.
That could have been better.
Yeah, you get a lot of sort of sidelong glances. This is a very Toonkind place, so the occasional food fight does just break out, and people do like borrow food off each other's plates. And it's like,
You don't need the R.
Yeah.
Please roll bad. Please roll bad.
yeah,
Please
even
roll
if
bad.
you were- When there's like people have noticed.
Yes.
I don't.
Oh.
So yeah, Charlie.
Hey. You donut notice.
That was bad. Yeah, so Charlie is, like, while technically a bard, has the charlatan background and will steal basically everything you've got as long as he thinks that you deserve it. And you know what? He wanted that donut, and he reckons he deserved that donut more than you did, so it's his now.
Gosh, dude. Okay, and now it's Al because I goofed and it was actually supposed to be Al before Kai. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this.
You're fine.
It's okay.
Being a
Very
DM
low
is
stakes.
hard. Okay, so it's my turn then? Okay. Hi, I'm Owl. I'm playing Toonkind Aarakocra duck person. And her name is Isaspella Book. She is a wizard. And she would have an accent, but I really don't want to have to subject you guys to that. So it's kind of a hit or miss as to whether or not I will actually be able to do one. Currently, she has like the blackest cup of coffee you've ever seen. It's like Vanta Black, and but she has like a tall stack of books, and she has like, God, probably like a cookie or something.
Aw. I like it. The bitter with the sweet. All your babies are precious. Also, yeah, about voice acting, like, don't worry about it. We're all learning what our characters' voices are on the way, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear.
That's promising.
Oh, great.
Hey, have I mentioned that Fran has -2 to her wisdom?
Ooh.
I know, I've got your character sheet right here.
Oh God. I got a 6, and I have a +3 to wisdom. God damn it.
I got a 7. I don't think any of us have done well
Okay,
here.
That's wisdom.
Yikes.
God damn.
We don't notice anything. We notice negative.
It's fine. Get all the bad rolls. Get all the bad rolls out of the way. Oh, this is wonderful.
This is atrocious.
Okay, so Colin,
I mean, at least
Colin,
the
you
detective
actually-
noticed something.
it's not to do with noticing. I will tell you what happens because, Colin, you're like, perhaps you're partway through slugging down that delicious milky coffee, so you somehow like have the caffeine serving as a sort of buffer when this wave passes through everyone. And I mean everyone, because you know how everyone like online occasionally says everyone crying in the club? Like literally this happens. So you feel this sort of push, like if you've been in a wave pool and you've been underneath the water and it activates, you feel this thing kind of like throw your soul around a bit, and you just feel sad. And no one really knows where this has come from, but like it's a Ghibli-esque pub very quickly there is like about a meter of water because everyone is just. I mean, who rolled the 2? Was that you? Oh my!
That
okay,
was me. Yeah, she is just bawling.
Can I roll to contest if Isaspella is crying? Because she would not want to cry in public.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about it because you have many other people doing it. But your cookie is gone. It just got jet powered, blasted off your plate. So yeah, it's a scene of it's a scene of chaos, but it's almost comical because everyone is crying, and it does like alleviate afterwards. Like it only lasts for like 5 minutes, but the devastation, the flooding is enormous, and you hear people crying like my pie, my spaghetti, my beans, and like everyone is not happy about this. And
all the fluids are everywhere.
All the fluids, everything is salty. You're the saltiest of all. And the chicken comes scurrying out of the back and says, "Oh no, not again!" And yeah, there is a pair of rats who are like suddenly setting up a stall with towels and buckets and dry your eyes, get your absorbent saltwater supplies. There's a couple of helpful wizards casting destroy water, but everything is a mess. It's like the worst. The landlady's like just about near you and is trying to help someone out of their soup because they've just got like pushed into it. Anyway. So, what do you do?
Fran does not believe in wasting food, so she's very tearfully eating her soggy fries.
I like the perseverance. That's very good.
Colin
It would just
kind of
be a real shame to let this delicious food go to waste.
Colin is upset that his coffee is now salty, so he just kind of pours it into the puddle on the floor.
You don't even see the coffee dissipate because, like, there's like a lot of water. There's a lot of water. There's a shark passing past, behind you.
Are there any, like, is there anyone that seems to be, like, struggling with the amount of water that there is about, like, the small kids potentially drowning or anything?
Fortunately not. Apparently, this seems to have happened before because some of the patrons are sort of sighing with resignation that this has happened again and are like just like wiping the water off their face even as it's coming out of their eyes and like have clambered onto the tables with their food. Like some of the people who made a really good dex roll picked up their plate and like are standing, eating still, because it's good food. You don't waste it.
Fair enough. I think Charlie kind of just goes like, okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Gonna try and get to higher ground and just like stands up on the chairs on the table to try and get out of the water then.
Colin probably hops off his chair into the puddle and the chicken lady is there, right?
Yeah. She's floating slightly.
So, is this a regular occurrence?
Well, it wasn't. And she's looking around like utterly distraught because this is her business, dude. And you can hear from behind the door that she just came through this sort of as the ovens are being put out by all the water. And she's like, oh, it's not great. And she's like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, since about 3 days ago, it started doing this every now and again. I don't understand. The only thing that could even... No, that can't be possibly. It doesn't matter. What did you order? I'll get you something new.
What can't be possibly?
Well, it's just my wife was working up. There's that. It's kind of spooky. I don't like the place, but people go up there. It's called the Weeping Falls or the Tear Falls. I can't remember. It's some terrible joke. I had it written down, but I can't find it because I'm a really organized DM. And
sorry, I related to that too hard. Also, I've prepared a visual aid for you.
Oh, good.
Oh, dear.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, but like add a second duck and add like Colin there, and that's the current situation, kind of.
That's excellent. Yes, there will be some art for helping with things, and Kai, if you'd be an angel and put those on the video, that would be amazing.
Yeah, don't worry.
So yeah, and this chicken said, well, my wife was walking up near there the other day, and it's strange, there's been these 2 waterfalls for as long as I can remember, and anyone can remember, and they weren't there. They're gone. Like the water has just stopped, and there is something I don't know. My history check is really bad, and there's something to do with crying in that place. Like people go up there to cry. Can you believe that? That is weird, huh?
Colin just kind of nods thoughtfully.
Yeah, she's looking frantic now because like she's got a whole queue of people who have come. Like
yeah, he's like
a complaint.
Yeah, he's like, thanks, ma'am.
She said, what if there is anything? You're like an investigator, aren't you? Looking at that trench coat.
Why,
That's how you can tell.
I'm glad you noticed.
If you could find out what's going on, I'd be very grateful. And she whips out of this she's got a holster belt that's got everything a chef and a landlady might need. So there's screwdrivers, there's a wrench and a spatula and any number of other things. And somehow she pulls out in both her little chubby plasticine hands 4 health potions. These are the regular kind, which are a 2d4 plus 2, and just shoves them on Colin. She doesn't even question whether or not he's going to take them. She's like, I'll give you something afterward, but this will have to do. I mean, if you could fix this, I'd be really grateful.
You've got the right crow for the job, ma'am.
Thank you. And then she just disappears under this tidal wave of patrons who have come to complain. And she's borne away.
Colin merely drops all the health potions.
The moment
juggles them for a bit.
The moment that she said, "Oh yeah, I'll give you something else afterwards" and everything, Charlie's ear did that whole thing of just getting way larger as he's obviously listening in and go, reward. And he sidles over, and as Colin looks to be dropping the potions, here, let me help you out with that. Oh, don't want you carrying quite so much. Not with those stubby little arms.
Pardon me.
Can I just this is a backstory thing. Fran, it came in on a ship. Would there have been anything weird going on with waterfalls drying up on her sailing in?
Unlikely. This is an inland sort of place, so yeah, you probably haven't heard anything about it unless you have been here if you've been to Tear Falls before, which I am going to ask, but it might be saved better for after the description because that will tell you whether your character might have been or not.
Fair point. And anyway, Fran is gonna look over at these two little guys squabbling over potions and go, well, I think that it's probably a smart idea for all of the interested parties to share equal, right? Don't you think, boys?
As they're negotiating, Spella has cast Ray of Frost and made a little platform of ice that she is using to float her books down the stream so they don't get wet. And she has her cup of extra Vanta Black coffee in the other hand, and she's just occasionally drinking it. And she walks past them and it's just no. And then she heads straight for the door.
And actually, Fran, as she's floating past, No, go ahead, Mod.
Oh no, you go first.
Fran will absolutely just grab onto Isaspella's arm and be like, "That's a cool trick. You should totally come."
Why are there suddenly so many new people? It's what makes you think that we need more people to come investigate this thing? We're just poking around, aren't we, mate?
Well, I think this could be dangerous. I think.
Also, it sounds really fun, and things are more fun when you got more people with you. So,
honestly, I think you need all of the help you can get, considering that cat stole your breakfast.
Pardon?
I did nothing of the sort. What are you talking about? Anyway, we have a thing to go investigate, and it's always good to make new friends. Let's go.
Crumbs on your mouth.
Who's to say I didn't purchase those legally with my own tender?
You don't have any money on you.
Says who?
How would you know that?
Would you like to show it?
Stole it.
Charlie kind of goes to kind of like sticks his hand in his pocket, and like you can see him rummaging. You cuts to like a view of like his hand grasping around his pocket, and there are like 7 different wallets in there. None of them are his. but he does grab some money. He does grab some money out of them, just like waves it in her face and shoves it back in his pocket.
She says, that's not legal tender in this country.
Fuck.
Good about this group.
Anyway, we had an adventure to go on, didn't we?
Onward. The faster we can investigate this, the better.
Hey,
by the way, I don't know any of you.
Chicken lady, where'd she go?
She was very tragically swept away by a tsunami of customers.
As if, like, beckoned by an otherworldly force, the chicken reappears. Like, she's actually, like, crawling out from underneath the legs, like, out of an American rugby football scrum type thing. And she's like, oh, by the way, do you know how to get there?
Follow the magic trail.
Oh, here's the map! And she, like, throws you this scrumpled up piece of paper that tells you where to go. And I'm gonna make, like, any of you good at history? Like, if you want to roll a history
That'd be me.
That'd be good.
I'll roll a history check. Isaspella's got proficiency.
I'm gonna roll
+4, actually.
It's just like if any of you would have an interest in historic or religious places.
I have -3 intelligence.
Charlie doesn't really know much about history, but absolutely has like a lot of like local knowledge just because he's been around for a while. But I'm guessing that really doesn't count here because thank you, dice.
Yeah, you haven't heard of this place, but Isaspella, you definitely have. Whether or not you've been there is another thing. So I'm gonna just say, like, just for the sake of moving things along, you head out following this incredibly like waterlogged piece of paper that tells you where to go, and I am going to now fight with my computer's files and try and find you the piece of art that
I didn't even
got.
get a chance to demand that I get free food for the rest of the year. You guys have no idea how to negotiate.
I'm just happy to help.
She said that we'd get it, that she'd be giving us something a little bit more afterwards. So I guess you can negotiate then.
Brother.
That's cool.
So this is the place.
Something.
This is the place, like, normally.
That's adorable
So
and terrifying.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted it to be.
I hate it,
So cool.
but I also like it.
So this place has been revered as a sacred space for as long as people have lived in the land of Ghibli, long before the Empire was ever established. Cartoons are highly emotional and empathetic creatures and know the importance of tears more keenly than they are even aware of. Happy, sad, angry, it doesn't matter what kind. The ability to cry and the necessity to do so, the compassion to help others both to cry and process their emotions through and beyond tears is deeply ingrained in the Toon psyche.
Tears are a waste of water.
Nah. Well, according to some, Tear Falls is known as a place of pilgrimage and contemplation in this regard. To sit by the shore is to feel the ripples of your personal history flow over and through you, and to bathe in the waters is known to allow those who have been unable to do so weep openly and to more fully understand their own emotions by having done so. So, yeah, this is like a meditative place. Have any of you been here before?
Nope. Colin is
probably
a hard-boiled Crow. He doesn't need to cry. Not even over lost donuts.
You don't know about the donut. You have no
Sounds like you got
proof.
some repressed issues, buddy.
Bella's used the water in some like magical experiments, but she doesn't like going there because it's just tears are a waste of water. You heard her earlier.
I can dig that.
Fran has totally come here a few times. She is generally a pretty jovial person, but you know what? Sometimes it's good to have just a nice, good cry.
I reckon
Correct.
Charlie's probably heard of it, hasn't actually gone to visit, mostly because, like, he's had enough tears in his life, he's good for now.
Aww. And we're going to probably poke into that in a while, but hee hee hee.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
That's great.
Oh.
So,
That's worse.
you arrive.
Oh no.
You arrive and it looks like this. And
Oh
it's
dear.
never looked like this. Like, all of the foliage, all of the nice Ghibli-esque, soothing, like swaying grass with all the flowers in is just grey. It's just sepia.
Cheery
And-
place, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also eerily silent because usually you've got the soothing sound of these twin waterfalls falling into the still waters, and there's just nothing. There's no birds. There's not even like there's no soundtrack. It's really eerie. It's like you don't like this.
Charlie
No
immediately cups his hands to his mouth and just goes, Echo!
There's no echo.
And you get an echo, but that's all. And it sounds like it gets lower and kind of sadder as it goes away.
Well, that didn't turn out like I was hoping.
Oh, what do you do? I would
First of
suggest
all-
perhaps rolling perception, but you can do anything you like. I'm just going to be here to facilitate.
I'm gonna roll perception. Also, I just realised none of our characters know each other's names.
Oh
God, wasn't I a plumber?
Well, to be
There's a
fair,
clock.
We
We
took
should
a
hire
walk
someone
up
to
here.
fix
We
it.
probably introduced ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
yeah.
Number of D&D games I've played when no one has introduced themselves to each other is astonishing.
Look, we just assume it happens while we're traveling. It's fine. We skip past intros.
God
just-
damn it.
Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
what?
Oh, I thought you
Oh.
had to roll a zero.
Wait.
you
How?
used an R
What?
rather
Oh,
than a
you
D.
forgot to do you did R20 instead of D.
How do you roll
Even
a
I'm
zero?
impressed.
There we go.
That's good. Okay, so Isaspella, you're kind of like more interested in like the water and what can I use this for, and like perhaps you're still thinking about the reward potentially because you didn't really want to come. But yeah, Frankie and Colin, you both get a good scoot, a good lay of the land, sort of spying over things. And there's the usual, the water is salt rather than actual, not salty water. I can't even think of the word. It's like unsalty water. Anyway,
water.
fresh water, that's the bugger. Okay, so there's that instead of your usual lake, but that's normal for this place because it's a tier lake. And a lot of the fauna has left. There are like tracks that have gone, and with what happened earlier, there's also a lot of water on the land, so you can like see like things have been crying as they've left this place, and that's perhaps a bit weird. But the main thing you notice is this massive statue, obviously, that's been sort of hewn into the cliff, and it's made out of different kinds of stone. You suspect that rather than like having stone brought to this place, it was carved out of the cliff and then transmuted very cleverly, so parts of it are made out of quartz now and onyx instead of the original whatever that big grey stone behind it is. And you usually can't see this because of the waterfalls, but there's a very clever, very simple visual illusion going on. So the nose of the clown, you see like the shine on it that usually makes it look 3D, is actually a light very, 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 very far back in a tunnel. That nose is a tunnel into the cliff.
Oh.
Huh.
Also, this thing is big. Like you can see there's like the stumps of trees that have grown on it. It's a long way up, that nose. And the right-hand side of the statue, because yeah, you roll pretty good, Frankie, is covered in moss. It's kind of, that looks like it's going to be slippery.
All right, we have a clue and a puzzle.
If only people didn't carry ropes. Does basically question, does basically everyone have some rope on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have, what's it called?
I have no rope, but I
Pitons.
won't be needing it.
Yeah, Isaspella's got a good trick up her sleeve.
It's true.
I do.
I have pitons, or however you pronounce them, which are basically steel spikes that you can knock into stuff to help climb.
Ooh, very
Nice.
I've got rope.
Spella removes her backpack, and then she also removes her jacket, and you can see that she is wearing a shirt that has an open back, and under that open back shirt, you can see a pair of white duck wings, and she unfolds them, and she shakes them out, and then she says, "This'll just be a tick," and then she leaves her backpack with you guys, and then she starts flying across the thing.
You can fly!
I'm
Fly.
Paw Colgra.
She is like the only Giznep-esque duck in the history of Giznep that can fly.
Charlie kind
that
of... Oh, sorry. Charlie kind of goes over and just like kind of toes at the backpack and going like, "You gotta be wanting this, or
touch it and you lose a hand."
okay."
Okay, I'm not even going to make you roll this because that's what you can do. So you fly over to the tunnel and land in the entrance of the tunnel. Again, because you're good at like history, and I would also guess religion.
Yep.
Do you recognize this figure? I'm going to make you roll for that again. Like choose whichever specialty you like.
I'm gonna go with history because I'm good at it. If only history will smile upon me. Damn it!
Well, it still works, because this is a figure that appears all over the place, but hardly anybody knows who it is. It's been around for a long, long time, and the most that you can sort of etch out of your memory is this rumor that this was one of the very first Toons to step out of the inkwell. Like this was a person that had existed and may still exist. They're kind of like a cryptid or mythological figure.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, do you just go straight to the tunnel? Do you do anything else?
She turns around and she looks back at everyone, and she knows that if she heads on by herself, it might not be great because she's got like how many hit points? 10. So she shouts, "Clear of enemies," or whatever. "How are we gonna get you up here?"
Do you have a rope?
"No."
Well, come back down here and we'll give you a rope.
Why didn't you pick up a rope before going?
She flies back across the lake and she's like, "I told you I wouldn't need a rope. You are the ones who need rope."
Well, here, take this. You take this end of
Can't
the
argue
rope.
with that.
Go back up there, because the thing is, if you may not need a rope, but you do need us. So take this rope and go and head back up there. Give us a tug when
Have
you're
I
ready.
mentioned that I dislike you?
Love you too.
She takes the rope and she flies up.
Okay, when you arrive at the tunnel, it's really dark in there. It's as black as ink, apart from this very, very far off light, and even that, you don't even know what that is. But there are some stalactites and stalagmites. They're as black as the rest of the tunnel, and you almost suspect they've been painted or made to be as black as possible. But yeah, you can definitely tie a rope to one of those.
Is there any spot, like, at the base of the statue under the tunnel where we can stand and await the rope?
I'm gonna make you roll. Like, choose whichever you like, Dex or Athletics. That's probably about the same, actually. Or
Yeah.
Acrobatics, if you can make a good argument.
Acrobatics, because I've got a +6 in it.
The argument would be why. Why would you use Acrobatics to get?
True. Yeah, yes.
Well, because
correct.
athletics is a little bit more like running, strength,
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
okay.
Acrobatics is more is more rope climbing, any sort of
Flips
flips.
and tricks.
Oh, fine. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
like, just roll what you want to do.
So athletics isn't. Wait, acrobatics isn't okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You can use either. Just pick whichever you prefer. Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Okay, Fran, you hardly even need the rope. You just kind of like, and I'm going to put this down to your big, beefy arms. You just, you clamber your way up to the bottom of the statue because it's got this clown ruff type thing, which actually makes for a pretty good platform to stand on. And the rope comes down, and you just you yank on it once, and you just go, you just shoot up and like grab the ledge with your big, meaty paws and pull yourself up, and you're just like, that ain't nothing. Colin, you have more of a time getting up. Like, you're small, and the trench coat and the hat maybe get in the way, but the aesthetic is worth it. Damn it! But
he
you
is
kind of
not letting go of his hat. He's terrified of it falling off his little head. So he's just...
occasionally you do that kind of pathetic spinning around, and you drop an inch when you're supposed to be going up, and like that kind of thing. Charlie, you're fine. You clamber up, but it's like it's no great shakes. You just kind of like you do your thing because you're a cat and you're agile.
It's like, God, not worse things. It's cool.
Yeah. Do you help Colin up the last stretch, or do you just...
No, I think Charlie kind of waits for Colin to get to the top before climbing and kind of just stands at the bottom and slowly, like, kind of prepares Featherfall as a just in case.
Oh.
But once Colin like gets within reach, Fran will totally just sort of like grab him by the back of the coat and pull him up.
That's adorable. I love it.
I got you, buddy.
Well done, everybody. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's nice.
Why do I keep rolling
good.
terribly?
Actually, no, none of these are actually too dire. Like, if one of you had rolled a 1 or a 2, you'd be in trouble. But Isaspella, because you've like been through this, you sort of hear it coming or feel it coming and brace yourself. So you actually don't cry at all. Colin, you just get pretty damn tearful, but you don't bawl. You don't like really lose it. The other two, you do cry, and this is different. And it's partly because you can actually hear something this time. Last time it was just this sort of vibration, this wall of impact that kind of went through you, and you had no idea where it was coming from. You know immediately that this is a sound, and it's coming at you from down this tunnel. And there's this sort of reverb, so you feel like it's something musical. You would guess some kind of percussion thing, like a gong, but it's very distorted from the tunnel. And these tears aren't sad, they are frustrated. You feel really like, when you wake up remembering something that happened to you when you were a kid and you couldn't fight against it and you knew it was wrong and no one else would back you up. It's that kind of feeling, and it sucks.
Okay, yeah, Charlie's
I can't
bawling.
believe he was... Fuck.
Yeah, so Charlie, you got hit the worst by that, huh? Tell me if it reminds you of anything. It could be a memory or a person, anything.
Reminds him like a lot of when he was a kid, he did not have the greatest time growing up. His stepfather was not the nicest guy, and he's kind of just like sitting there heavily reminded of kind of like sitting in his room as a little kid listening to his mum and his stepfather just kind of yelling out the living room, and he's just kind of curled up. Is like flashbacks to being like curled up, sitting with his back against his door and just kind of listening to this and crying because he knows he can't do anything about it, but he is very frustrated and kind of wanting to just get out of there.
Oh, that sucks. I feel bad. That's great.
Sorry.
So character interaction time. Like, how do you respond to this on Matt?
Charlie's just kind of like, he's like scrunching up his face, wiping at his eyes, because like normally he doesn't mind crying that much, but this is not fun, so yeah, he's obviously in distress.
Apart from like bracing herself, Spella doesn't care, and now her backpack, which I am retconning because backpacks don't mix with wings, her satchel, she has folded up her coat and placed it inside of her satchel and slung it over her shoulder, and now she's just making her way down the friggin' tunnel.
Fran is gonna lay a big old meaty hand on Charlie's shoulder, and she's gonna be like, buddy, don't let this place get the better of you. You're better than it, all right? Don't let it bother you. Let's fucking do it.
Colin is just kind of like off to the side, like, maybe I should probably do something, but I don't know what.
No, like Charlie Charlie scrunches up his face, kind of wipes his eyes, and like tries to forces a smile, going like, yeah, got it. Yeah, we're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you all. That's excellent. Isaspella.
Are you coming or not?
You set off, right? Yeah, you definitely have. Can you roll Dex?
Yes, I can. That is also a +3, by the way.
Let's hope it works out, because you've only got 10 hit points.
Ooh.
Okay, by the barest margin, it doesn't hit you, because this stalactite breaks off from the ceiling and comes slamming down into the floor like an inch from your foot. And this is your first clue that this is unstable ground. It is very dark in here. It's very uneven and slippery. So you want to do something about that situation? What do you guys do? There's only one direction.
Whoa there. Are you okay?
Someone set something on fire.
I do. Fran pulls out a torch and lights the torch.
Hey, MVP.
Thank you, meaty arms.
Okay, yeah, you now have a source of light, which is advisable because, yeah, as stated, it's really dark. And it's not just like naturally dark, as in there isn't much light coming from either end of the tunnel. Everything in here is black. It's ink. It's ink black. You don't know if it's been made out of ink or painted with it, infused with it. But it's super, super dark in here, and it is slippery. Like, you think there's some kind of moss or, yeah, there's goo around. So you enjoy walking up this snotty tunnel of this... Oh my god, I love that drawing so much.
So glad.
Amazing.
Cranky, you're so good at drawing so quickly. I can't believe this.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's so good.
No, I want to keep all of these.
Oh gosh, okay, I have to go and get a parcel from the front door. So while you're walking up this very long tunnel, just carry on and have a conversation. I'll be back in a minute.
Fran is gonna sort of give Isaspella a playful punch on the arm and be like, come on, bookworm. Don't want to rush ahead.
Don't touch me.
And
then,
right. I'm sorry.
Just
did I bruise?
off her shoulder.
Charlie kind of just...
sorry. Did I bruise?
Oh, Charlie comes over and just like kind of drapes his arm over both of your shoulders and kind of gives you a bit like, do that little, like, grip you together. Charlie's a bit short, so like Fran, like, he might have a bit of trouble getting over your shoulders, but like grabs yours, like, look, we're here on this great adventure. Let's just be friends here and everything, okay? Like, if we're gonna be working together.
Touching me.
The more you complain, the tighter Charlie will cling.
It's touching me.
Colin, like,
Fran will pull Charlie back, and without the slightest bit of irony, she'll be like, "Be careful, dude. She's fragile. You don't want to break her."
Oh, she'll be fine. Just a hug.
Hugs are the misuse of arms.
Jeez, you're a cheery one, ain't ya?
Particular thoughts about bodily functions.
Of course I do. Hugs are for those who need them. And I do not need any sentimental nonsense. I am here to do a job. I am here to do it well. And I am here to get free food for the year so I don't have to pay it and add to my student loan.
See,
This is the best part to come back in.
Pretty good reason.
Sorry.
See, this is why you're better off just dropping out. Honestly, ain't worth the cost.
I am a graduate student. I am not dropping out. And if you mention anything of the sort again, I will freeze you to death.
No murder on my watch, please.
Fine, I will maim him.
Good enough.
Please don't.
On that
Kind of need my
note,
hands.
On that note, which is beautiful, I can't wait to listen back to what I missed while I was gone. Just to like tell us how you've managed to deal like walking down this slippery tunnel. Everybody roll Dex. Yeah. This is mostly to just see how comically funny you all are.
Oh man.
Four, yes.
I kind of love playing the
Why
straight
am
guy.
I rolling so bad?
Right?
Oh, this is great though, because yeah, okay. So Isaspella, you stumble occasionally, like your ankle almost twists at one point, but you're fine. You're fine. You just walk it off, and they don't even notice. Colin, you just don't even give a damn. Like you just saunter through this like ain't no thing. You've had this before, and you just like absolutely walk.
Does Colin do the thing where like oblivious character just walks past multiple dangers which narrowly miss him?
Yeah, like you do the whole little fella with the stalactite coming down, but like you make it work so good. Like it's beautiful. Like at one point you think you felt something actually because your roll was so good. You do. You feel something fly past you in the air, but that's it.
Oh.
And you have no idea what it was, and you don't notice. Like maybe the people watching the cartoon would be like, "What the fuck was that?" But no one else notices. Fran and Charlie, you're both doing, like the Bambi. Like your feet are like trying so hard to keep purchase, and you're trying to like continue this conversation, and you do manage. But like there's a lot of skidding, and occasionally, Fran, you have to like just hold on to a stalagmite while your feet do the splits and then pull yourself back up.
I feel so I feel so sorry for Fran. At the same time, I'm not going great either. So this is just curse those other two for making it so easy.
I just love that.
Come on, fellas, hurry up.
Fran's just like trying to walk along, and as soon as she thinks she's got the hang of it, she like donks her head on a stalactite.
Yeah, you're tall, huh? Yeah, that's an issue.
Oh, you know that thing that cats do when they're like
right,
on all fours, like claws out, their fur just kind of sticking up absolutely fucking everywhere, tail straight up, all of that. Charlie's kind of doing that and still just sliding down the mossy corridor.
But you're not sliding down it because then you'd go shooting out. You're actually heading slightly upwards. It has a gentle incline, and you're going deep into this mountain, but you're also heading slightly upwards, which is interesting. Okay, so no one actually completely doofed on that. So you do reach a landing, and it's just like this flat platform. It's the same black rock, but it's been smoothed out. It's a little bit skiddy, but it's not too bad. And it has a simple altar. Upon it is a simple oval-shaped white stone. And it's emitting light, but it's not a huge amount, so your torch is still a really good idea. And it's clearly not for lighting the area, as it's still really, really dark. This platform is butted by a wall to the north, let's call it, in front of you, so you can't keep walking, as it were, up the tunnel, but it's flanked by two channels to the right and the left. They're completely identical. They're sort of rounded at the bottom, this kind of half-pipe structure. They both seem to pass this spot and can lead upwards or down, like back where you came from. What do you do?
Isaspella, like, immediately goes to investigate the altar.
Oh, same.
Okay.
Well, Fran will investigate the channels since they seem to have the rest covered.
The nerds go for the magic thing.
Charlie casts detect magic.
Okay, we'll do that one first. So, Charlie, you roll whatever.
Don't. One sec. Technically,
Detect
I don't
magic
need
is
to
just
roll.
you detect magic.
Okay.
Yeah,
so just cast it.
in investigation.
Yeah. So detect magic is like I get to like sense any magic within 30 feet of me, and I learn its school of magic if there is any.
That's very, very good. Okay, so just going off what we've got happening in front of me on the rolls. So we'll do Fran first because Fran's got the torch, which is very sensible. You look at the channels. You don't make anything of them. They're just channels. They're carved out of grey stone. They haven't been bothered to make this into the dark stuff that you've been clambering through. It's just, you'd guess it was some sort of canal, but it's bone dry right now and just plain rock. Colin, you've investigated the altar. It's a very simple altar. It's not dressy at all. The back wall is covered in slime. It's like the tunnel that you were walking on, and it's pretty gooey, that stuff. Isaspella, we're going to come back to Isaspella because Charlie cast detect magic, which is important for what you're doing. The stone is enchanted, but it's a very simple enchantment. It's just a glow, and it's really old. In fact, you don't know whether the stone came first or the magic came first. You don't know. You suspect that this is actually a rock that's been made out of light. Someone has captured some light and made it into this stone. Isaspella, what do you do when you're investigating this stone?
Like any good science archaeology nerd kid, Spella reaches into her bag and she pulls out a little bag of sand, some ink, some parchment, and she uses her pen to gently touch the surface of the stone, and then once it doesn't catch on fire or superheat or anything, she leans over it and looks a little bit closer.
Okay, I'm gonna take a little artistic license with this, but the stone is now going to roll d20 plus 5 because what the stone is doing is rolling insight on you.
Nice.
Oh God, why?
No, this is very, very good. Because if the stone hadn't understood that you're here for a very good reason, the stone would have been very upset. The stone understands that you guys are chill and understands that you're here to help. And it lights up. It glows, and the whole room is lit up. So that's fantastic news for you for various reasons. Partly because you can see the wall much more clearly now. And there are actually 2 engravings, one on the far left-hand side and one on the far right-hand side. And they're very simple, very simple. One is an eye and the other is an eye. The one on the left is kind of a smiling eye. It looks kind of like it might be laughing, but it's mostly just sort of a benevolent smile. And the right one is sad. It's got a tear underneath it. It's a sad eye. And you can see the ceiling. And the ceiling can see you. There are 3 little things hanging upside down, and they're very small, but they're also starting to move and don't look like they like being disturbed. So these are, another terrible pun, these are wingdings.
Oh God.
They're cute.
Congratulations. They are, but they're also now not happy because A, you disturbed them by just stomping around, so they were going to get you anyway. But you get the drop on them because you can see them. Congratulations! We've got our first little encounter. Do you want to roll to take order again, or do you want to use the order you're in? I'm easy.
Use the order, I guess.
Yeah, let's do the one we're already in.
We do have pluses and
Oh yeah,
whatnot.
true. Because
This is the location of things. There you go. I'm not going to add you to the map because I'm like,
Yeah, I think rolling order because like my Charlie's got like a good bonus to initiative, whereas I don't.
Okay. Oh man, you two are always neck and neck. So actually, we're gonna have Colin go first because you've got a +4.
Yeah.
So the order of combat is Colin, then Charlie, then and then you, Isaspella. And I have to roll as well because yeah, I'm doing a bad. I'm doing a bad, but I don't get a plus because you did very good. So yeah, I am coming last in the order.
Be meat shields, everyone. I have notes to take. And then she starts copying down the engraved things on the wall.
Good in character moment. That's great. Okay,
those
so Colin,
fierce looking beasties.
I reckon we can take him.
They're actually like half the size of Colin, if that helps.
Oh no! I thought they were smaller.
Oh no!
They look smaller from a distance.
Yep. If they get up close, they're bigger.
Yep. Colin takes out his crossbow.
Good idea.
And I guess he uses the crossbow.
Oh, are you picking one? Because there's 3 of these things.
he's picking one. Let's say I like the red one. It's
okay. Yeah, and I'm going to say that you and Isaspella are on that central platform. Fran, you're like over on the left. You're like between the channel and the purple one. And I don't know where Charlie is.
So that's a 9.
That's a 9. You fire off and it goes zing, ping, and hits the wall because these bats are kind of dodgy motherfuckers. So it doesn't take any damage, and we move on in the order.
All right, next up is Charlie, who takes out a dagger and tosses it at one of them. Probably the one in the middle, just because that seems to be the closest. So.
Okay, I'm actually going to give you advantage because that bat has just dodged the previous attack, so it's kind of like being distracted by Colin.
Cool. That's that. And let's... Oh, good thing I have advantage because I am rolling horrendously. Okay, does a 16
that
hit?
Does it.
Alright, in that case, take...
Absolutely. Roll damage. Here is sort of as you get it.
Alright, take 6 damage.
Oof, that bat is not looking happy. It's like it's got a dagger like straight through it.
Does it ding?
And it sort of drifts closer to the floor. It's very, very unhappy looking, but it's not dead yet.
Okay. How far overhead are these guys?
They're not very high. It's not a very high chamber. It's like 8 foot. You're okay. Probably having a bit of a time, Fran, because you're tall.
True. In that case, she will just pull out her warhammer and try and hit those bells. Oh, come on!
I'm very sorry to say this, but your spectacular anime move completely misses. You obliterate the floor. Like you swing it overhead and it just like
super intimidating.
Slams into the ground, and yeah, you sort of do the cartoon. So yeah, you're sort of bouncing around to the reverb of your own attack.
Well, okay, fair.
It looks really funny if that's
yeah.
Have you got a bonus action?
Unfortunately, I still only get 1 attack per action. The whole thing with fighters is that you get bunches of attacks, but not until later levels, I guess.
Fair enough. Okay, it's a speller, right. I believe it is you.
Okay, Spella casts sleep on the wingdings.
Yeah. Okay. You do that. You have to roll a bunch of dice, and then we deduct things from the enemies, right? Yeah.
Okay, how the fuck do I roll this?
It's like a lot. It's a lot of dice.
Okay, 5d8. Hold on.
5d8, roll them dice.
D8.
Oh,
Nice.
That's very good. Now I have to do maths, which I hate. Oh, actually, no, I don't, because one of them is down to 1. So you cast it. Like, what does this look like? Tell me what it looks like when you do this spell.
Spella turns around and sees that Fran has just launched herself into the floor. And she just sighs, and then she looks up at the bats, the wingdings, and she strikes out her hand and she says, "Go to bed."
And they do. Every single bat goes clink, clang, clink, clang, clink, clang, clang, and they drift slowly onto the floor, and they are all fast asleep. And they all actually look really kind of cute now that they're asleep, and they will remain asleep unless disturbed or attacked. So that's fantastic. Well done.
Are you all done now?
We are now.
Are you finished being ridiculous?
I mean, we could still smash him. That's still an option.
No, they look so cute
Is
when
that
they're all
me?
asleep like that.
Are you all just leaving them?
Charlie wants to go retrieve the dagger that he tossed, but otherwise he's for just leaving them alone.
Yeah, Colin
sad
also
news.
retrieves his... What?
A sad news. If you retrieve the knife, then the bat goes meep and dies because it had 1 hit point left.
Oh
Just pulling it
God!
out. No.
Oh, that's what happens. However, when this happens, it
Spella puts
dissolves
the body
into
of the
floor.
wingding in her bag.
What does it dissolve into?
You try and pick up the bat, Isaspella, but it dissolves, and you realize it was made out of ink.
God damn it! I could have used that for ingredients. And
You
now
could
it's
still
all over my
put it in.
hand.
Yeah.
And then
So, anybody-
she walks over to she walks over. God, I have forgotten his name. It disappeared from my brain.
Which one? Crow, cat?
Cat.
Charlie.
She walks over to him and wipes her hands on his shirt.
Oh,
Okay, Charlie also, I'm guessing, has ink on him after retrieving his dagger. He's got to do it right back, but into Isaspella's face. Get ink all over her beak.
She bites him.
You want to roll for that?
While they're having this friendly tussle, Fran is gonna try and investigate the 2 sleeping guys.
That's a good idea. Yeah, roll insight or anything that you feel would account for that roll.
Okay.
Like investigation or whatever.
God damn it.
14 to
I
bite.
mean,
That only
you
just
biting good.
hits. That hits. God damn it.
And now I'm gonna roll damage, so that would be like a D3, right?
Probably like a D2 or something. I'm not sure.
Alright,
fine. I'm going with a D2. Okay, so you take 1 hit point of damage.
God damn it.
Probably just roll.
She fucking bites you, man.
Yeah, she does. And you know, these dogs, they have those hidden teeth.
Charlie's, you realize that Charlie's gonna try and slap you right back, right?
Well, actually,
Colin frantically
well,
tries to shush the both of them. Because, like...
Well, actually, a lot of things happen all at once because, Fran, you try and investigate the bats, but as soon as you do, and as soon as Charlie's trying to, like, hit back, you all have to take another wisdom saving throw.
Oh, joys. Oh, God, why?
Boy.
Why is this doing this to me?
Haha.
Oh, wow. Oh, Fran.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fran.
So Charlie and Fran are just
Here we go.
out.
Actually, no. I tell you what, like, this actually works really well for your personalities, so this is fine.
I'm back.
Yeah, you. This time, you definitely hear what it is, and it is the sound of a ginormous bell. Like, think Big Ben size bell, and it just comes crashing down, this sound. And it seems to come from both sides. It's like it's a Dolby attack, and yeah, it's come down both of the channels, and it just makes you feel so angry. You're so mad, and yeah, those of you that rolled good, you like hang on to yourself. You're not crying, but you still feel so mad because it's really loud. This is really, really loud. So
Isaspella feels no different from usual.
I'm always angry. So yeah, you don't cry, but everybody else does. And Fran, what does this remind you of? Any part of your life, any person in your life?
Fran had a pretty garbage childhood. She spent a lot of time not being at home because no one else was home, and she got into a lot of fights just to let out all her frustration. And so she's eaten some very unhappy anger right now.
Poor Fran
Was a very scrappy little kid who
So again, how do all of you respond to this?
Colin stomps his little feet.
Oh,
I don't know what else he does.
That's Toonish. That's good.
You realize like Charlie was
Fran might she might go so far as to kick one of the wingdings.
The wingding just goes pinging off down the tunnel. Like you kick it so hard, it goes flying down the tunnel and like shoots out of the statue at the front.
nice.
She's like, oh, I don't feel better.
Charlie was already about to kind of like slap Isaspella because that's kind of what they're doing at the moment. But that was more kind of it was just going to be a playful one. It wasn't going to be anything serious. It likely wasn't going to cause any damage. Now that Charlie is absolutely furious and he's kind of got some fury-based, like memory-based fury added on top of this, he is absolutely going to hit her to like do some serious damage. So that would be like a D20 plus. Thankfully, he rolls atrociously.
That will not do it.
Okay, so what happens?
I have an armor class of 13.
Oh, yeah, Charlie goes to hit, and you're so blinded by tears that you miss and you punch the wall.
Charlie is
and
fine
I'm
with
afraid
this.
That, yeah, but you take one harm.
Yeah,
you punched it real hard. Like
Nope.
You wanted to harm something, and you did. You harmed yourself.
No, that's fair. That's still pretty in line with his past. Don't worry.
Oh, poor baby. Okay, right. So after reeling from the impact of this bell toll, what do? You have two directions that you can go in, and you've got everything that you've gleaned from this platform in terms of information.
Charlie shoves his hands in his pockets, just goes like, "Fine, let's go," and heads down the like the sad eye tunnel.
Colin follows because can't just have someone wander off on his own and mess with any evidence. I don't know.
No, that's fine. You're a detective. That's what you do.
You meaty-armed one. Do you want to go down the other tunnel?
I don't think running in separate directions is gonna be good for our long-term health.
Ugh, fine.
Especially as the two people with any sort of healing ability, because you've got Colin who has all the healing potions, and then Charlie who has a healing spell, have just gone down one tunnel.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good point.
I forgot Colin had the healing potions. I should write that down.
You could distribute them amongst yourself, but like
no, they're like in. He's got a bunch of pockets. They're in all of them.
That's great. I can just see this like really, small crow with bulging pockets dragging this coat. Okay, so you take the right-hand path with the sad eye Please note that the other eye was happy. This eye is the sad eye. Okay, so you walk up this channel, and the first thing you realize, and I don't even have to make you roll for this because it's so obvious, the floor isn't slimy. This is nice, clean, solid floor. It's just stone with it's a slightly more upward incline now. It's slightly steeper, but it's clean. It's absolutely clean. Anybody want to roll insight or guess why that would be?
There hasn't been any water flowing for a while.
Ah, the opposite.
Maybe it's because the tunnel's a nose, so it's covered in snot.
You're right. Charlie, you got it. You hit it on the nose. So yeah, this is a cartoon statue. It has a sense of humor. Like, so
That
the
was
nose.
me. I said the snot thing.
Yeah.
Oh right, I'm sorry, dude.
Charlie just rolled really
you
well.
all get it. Like, you just rolled really well. Okay, you all get
anyway.
this gag.
Yeah. Sorry.
The other thing is,
roll. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's fine. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I'm very glad you got it. And the other thing is that this channel, you occasionally feel like it's slightly crunchy, but it's not sand. It's salt. And you realize that before this whatever has happened, this was full of water. This was like a channel for a canal. It was like this was where the water was directed out towards the statue to fall down in the twin waterfalls. So you are currently in the channel of the right-hand eye of the clown, which was the crying eye side of the mask outside. And in regards to that, you all will have to make a dex saving throw.
Oh boy.
Fran.
Oh no.
Fran is very back and forth.
Only managing to actually roll decently now.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Okay, so we have got three.
I'm rolling in
acrobats.
D20s.
3 acrobats and 1 squish. So I'm really sorry, it's a spell. But you are all. The reason I didn't make you roll perception is because this was a very well hidden thing, and also you're still kind of shaken up from what happened before. And so you don't notice particularly until the last second that there are 2 huge boxing gloves that come shooting out from either side of you on the wall. And yeah, you all manage to like commando roll or double flip out of the way apart from Isaspella. So you are going to have to take... Oh my goodness, I'm very sorry. That's 6 damage.
That's for both gloves and not just one glove, right?
Yeah, that's from both sides. Like, you do the proper cartoon squish in the middle, and yeah, that's an ouchie.
She does not.
So it sounds like they really rang her bell.
That's so bad.
Ding ding. Round 2. So do remember that you still have healing potions, and yeah, you don't have to keep going until you.
No, like she gets squished. Charlie,
yeah, the boxing.
Like she gets squished.
The boxing gloves retract into the wall, but yeah, they're still there.
All right, Isaspella, how are you going?
Going where?
No, I mean like in terms of health and everything, and you considering you just got squished because Charlie probably jumped over the gloves and has now landed next to you again, and he has a healing spell.
Spella has 4 HP left.
Yeah, okay. Charlie, I cast Cure Wounds on Isaspella, which is 1d8 plus 6. Yeah.
Hey, this is good. You've got a bonding experience after that little fight you had.
Charlie absolutely cast it. Like, he doesn't need to do touch to actually cast it, but he does it anyway and just kind of like, okay, yeah, fine, boops her on the beak.
Oh, no, I'm back at 10 HP again.
It's like,
that's beautiful. Yeah, what a nice moment that is.
But like, boops you on the beak and goes like, stop complaining now, please, would you? I'm not here to hurt you.
I'll stop complaining when you stop acting like an idiot.
Nah.
Then we're at an impasse. Thank you for the healing, cat man.
It's Charlie.
Man,
Charles.
anyway, that was very, very good and moving. Yeah. So if you'd gone up the other tunnel, there weren't any traps in the other tunnel. So even if you'd split the party, you'd be fine.
The speller that knows all and sees all, angrily cussing.
Sorry, friends. Okay, so yeah, you carry on up the tunnel and nothing else happens. It's just it gets a little bit steep towards the end, but you know, you're good. And eventually you reach this place, which is the source of this weird noise that has been echoing down the chambers. So it's this is, you come into this place and it's like you've never been in a belfry, I guess, but it's kind of like that, but it's all made out of stone. It's like halfway between being in a very sophisticated sewage system and the bell tower. And in the center of it, there's this very beautiful, better rendered than this Ghibli-esque bell. And you can't tell whether it's green with age or the nice, clean, very clean plants. Like, this isn't slimy. This is like, it's like
Mossy?
at the bottom of a very clean river, but there's no water. And you can very, very faintly see around the archway that suspends this bell ancient runes, and there's a couple of tunnels up ahead, but yeah, that's all I'm going to give you without a perception roll or whatever.
Spellcast comprehend
Hello?
languages.
Colin pulls out with hello.
Yeah, that hello echoes back, and it doesn't echo back from the walls, it echoes back from the bell, and it says, hello.
Oh.
Hello. Especially because comprehend languages has just been cast.
I'm gonna do a perception.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what were you rolling for, Uni? Sorry?
Perception, yeah.
Perception, excellent. You see everything.
I see all.
You see all. So you see everything that I just described, only like super, super duper good. And one of the tunnels ahead, because there are about 5 of these archways like surrounding the room, but one of them has a very distant kind of acidy orange glow. Around the wall there's these things that almost look like broken cogs, but you realize they're closed eyes with like very disparate eyelashes. Underneath the moss on the bell there's writing all over it. Like this writing has been here for a long time, and with your comprehend languages, Isaspella, you can read it and understand that this is what is called the weeping bell. Yes, you're welcome. You can hate me for all the rest of my life for that pun. Yeah. And it's been here for a very, very long time. But interestingly, like the descriptive writing on the archway is different from the writing that's on the platform underneath it, because the stuff on the platform underneath it almost sounds like worried. And you realize that this part of the bell shouldn't be above water. This bell is supposed to be rung, and it rings itself constantly, and it imbues the water with emotions. All of the feelings that ring out from this bell go into the tears that shoot out of the waterfall and give this magical sacred spring its powers. And there is a spring that comes out of one of the tunnels ahead, but where is it? There's no water. There's absolutely no water in this room, and there should be.
Colin trots up to the bell, probably licks some moss, mossy, and knocks on the bell once.
Oh dear, do you really? Okay, everybody roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
thank fuck.
Look, it's trial and error.
It is.
Oh, I got a 21. I'm fine anyway.
Well done.
So wisdom.
I got a 10, which is as good as I could hope for.
Oh, bless.
I'm just
Colin's
glad that Charlie
fine.
finally rolled something above a 2.
Okay,
basically.
Fran, Fran, you get knocked off your feet because this blast of sound comes out from the bell. And yeah, even though the rest of you rolled really good, you are in such close proximity that all of you get pretty tearful, even if you don't like cry. If you got over a 20, you don't cry because you're like a hard ass. It's fine. It's a spella looking at you.
Tears of the week.
Charlie runs
the
up.
Thing that you.
Charlie runs
Tears
up
are
and
a waste
grabs
of water.
Colin's hand and just kind of like stops him from tapping it. He's like, maybe don't do that. Just maybe.
Yeah.
The thing that you all get from this, like, Fran, you're prone, but you can probably get up. I mean, there's no enemies in this room, but you're just kind of like, oof, big oof, because these are scared. These are scared tears. They're like, oh man, you feel so small. You remember like something that you really wish you hadn't. Like that thing that hides in your nightmares that occasionally comes and you're like, shit, I'm still afraid of that, huh? Oh, I hate it. And Charlie, because you set the bell off,
No,
you
Colin.
realize that those feelings are oh, sorry, Colin. These feelings are coming from the bell. The bell is afraid.
Oh, dang.
Like all of these negative emotions you've been feeling have been this bell asking for help. It has been sad, it has been frustrated, it has been angry, and it is scared.
Spella starts collecting like moss and other plant life from this very verdant room, and once she has like 2 huge armfuls of it, she places it under and inside the bell, so that instead of shaking back and forth and having the bell stick thing hit the side and make it ring, the bell is effectively muffled, so now they don't have to worry about it making that horrible noise anymore.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, but there's a magical trap on the inside of this bell. You need to roll dex.
I hate this. Why do you like
I'm
this?
sorry. You could have investigated, but no.
Nice.
I'm fine anyway, but Jesus.
Okay, Isaspella, you do like the coolest double barrel backwards roll anyone has ever seen, because this bell just goes ballistic. It just swings back and forwards like absolutely. It hates what you just tried to do. Absolutely. And all of your hard work goes flying all over the room. And again, like the bell rings really loudly. Yeah, that sucks. If you had rolled badly, you would have taken psychic damage, but you didn't. So congratulations. But it's very not happy about what you just tried to do.
Well, I'm at
Don't muffle it.
Well,
Well,
like,
that's what you're supposed to do when someone is making noise and you need them to be quiet.
that is the opposite of what you need to do.
The bell
Fran is
echoes,
going to no, like honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, Fran is going to storm over to Izzy and just be like, "Talk to us before you do more dumb shit, okay?"
It was not dumb
We are
shit,
not-
and I succeed.
It clearly was
you-
dumb shit.
Can
the
Charlie
bell echoes. Dumb shit. Dumb shit.
can Charlie hug the bell, please? Like, maybe make it sort of like it's kind of like a motion to stop it from swinging, stop it from ringing a bit, but also it's very much a hug.
The bell doesn't do anything, and you feel really warm.
This is why emotions are a waste of time and effort.
You
It's like
not
a nice
right
warm.
now.
Well, I'm
So yeah,
right,
I'm
but
I'm just going
fine.
to remind you that you had that really good perception roll earlier, and yeah, so you've got 5 archway tunnels surrounding this room on the upper level. It's like a bell tower, but you're inside a cave. It's kind of crazy. But one of them, you can see a very distant orange glow.
Instead of arguing about your emotional unavailability, let's just keep going.
When was I ever emotionally available?
No, we're not doing this. We are moving forward.
Actually,
Because
when you say
can't talk and walk at the same time does not mean everyone cannot. Fran. That's your name, right? Fran.
And just walks.
after that rather terse incident, Isaspella, you're still pretty close to the bell, right? Because you tried to stuff it.
Mhm.
It rings very, very quietly when you walk past it, and you remember someone that you were emotionally available to. And whether or not you say anything to anybody else, you feel that, and it sticks in you. And it's kind of annoying because you can't ignore it.
After that little ring, she turns around and she shushes the bell very quietly and says, "You made your point."
Bell doesn't say anything. It just kind of stays there being still. And you kind of get the impression that it feels smug.
Yes, you're very smart.
Very smart. Very smart.
Buggering Bell. And she follows the other out the corridor and just like, God.
Okay, so are you checking out any of the other corridors, or are you going straight for the one that's glowing?
The one that's glowing seems the most pressing.
Yep.
Okay.
Before, like,
So,
Charlie's gonna make sure he's kind of the last to leave. He kind of stopped hugging the bell after it stopped going quite so crazy, but he kept a hand on it. Before he goes to follow everyone else, he kind of whispers, "We're gonna fix this, it's okay," and then dashes to catch up with everyone else.
Aww.
oh, that's nice. That's really nice. I love you.
Oh,
Okay, so you
I love this
continue
party.
I love all of you. This is like a really fun game. I'm so glad everything is going well.
Sorry, I'm being a bit quiet.
No, it's fine.
I never
Just-
get to play the cranky bastard, so I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Excellent.
Right. Okay, so yeah, you follow this particular corridor, and you see some etchings on the wall, and because you've still got that understand languages, you understand that this leads to the main spring. This is the main eye spring that the water comes from. And Isaspella, because you picked up some of those plants, you know that those plants usually grow in salt water, so this is a saltwater spring. But there isn't any water coming down this channel, and this doesn't even feel like it was designed for you to walk on. This was a place for like directing water down into that main room. And
Spella tells the rest of the party that it's leading up to the main spring. That's what the label says, and she just makes sure to inform them that that is where they're going, because they told them to inform them before she did any dumb shit. She's being a team player as she walks ahead of them.
That's very, very good. Okay, and yeah, eventually you come into this kind of rough-hewn place. Like, you feel like this place has been etched out of the wood to allow the spring to bubble more, but hasn't been disturbed more than it had to be, because this is the very sacred place. This was like already really special before the bell was cast and placed in that special place that you've just been through. And there is something in the middle of the room, and you have so much trouble looking at it because it's like there's a hole in reality, and it really is a hole in reality. It's like this burning space of white, and you swear somewhere in the back of your brain you can hear a projector running, and it's got this wobbling edge that's like burning orange, and there's a couple of them. There's a really big one in the middle of this room, but it's so hard to look at. It's so hard to look at. It just like feels wrong because all of you are Toonkind. This is a nitrate burn.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy.
It's nasty.
Yeah. And there's a couple of them. There's a big one in the middle, and a little one on the left, and two kind of wobbly ones on the right. And it doesn't have eyes, but it feels like it can see you. And now it's time to roll initiative.
Oh, joy.
Wait, if it feels like it can see us, can I talk to it?
You can try, but you're still
I
gonna
have
to roll
comprehend
initiative.
languages going on.
You do. Like, what do you say to it? What do you say to it?
Hello? Can you
It says-
stop being an abomination?
I'm gonna say what it says. It says, and you're like, oh, okay. So,
Does
yeah.
that actually mean anything in English, or?
No, it means it's an acid, like nitrate burn, and it's not. This is not supposed to be in this reality. It feels so wrong. It's like it's not even funny. It sucks. This is a bad thing.
Well, I hate it.
Yeah.
Is this initiative?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, do you want to use the initiative from last time?
Oh,
No, let's do it again. Let's do it right.
Boo.
Oh, boo.
No
Okay.
one's going well here.
Okay, so oh god, someone help me! I can't keep track of this. Okay, so it's Owl first, and then it's ooh, wow, you did some low rolls on this, huh? Then it's Kai, then it's Cranky, and then it's Yuni, and I have to roll initiative as well because this is gonna be fun. Okay, so that one's going last.
That one.
That one is definitely going last. Yeah. But the other ones get a +3. Those guys are going to go first. So that makes it nice and tidy.
Quick question, Mod. Would you describe any
Okay.
of these, like any of the burns and everything, around the same, like no bigger than a small campfire?
The very smallest one, like on the far right, you can see it in the front there.
Okay.
That one's small. That one's tiny. That one's
Okay.
really, really small.
Cool.
The other ones are like, yeah, they're pretty big. Like the big one is easily twice the size of Fran. It's big, and it's sitting in the middle of this carved eye on the floor. And again, like you can tell, like this place was the whole room. This is supposed to be underwater, and there's nothing coming out of it. So, okay, yeah, it's me first, huh? So, right. Do you want to give me a clue as to where you guys are standing? Because at the moment, I'm guessing you're just all in that tunnel entrance.
Charlie's at the
Probably.
back.
Charlie's at the back. That helps. That's fine.
Colin's probably second to last.
Spell is at the front.
Spells at the
Why
front.
is the wizard at the front?
She has no fear
Okay.
of God.
She has no fear of God. Oh, the hubris.
She has no fear of her 10 hit
She does
points.
not. If she dies, she's gonna take
Okay,
everyone
all
down
right.
with her.
Okay.
She's
Well, so I'm
Colin's
gonna
still
do
the
like
one with all the health potions.
yeah. I'm gonna do the random and small sized ones as like a little group, and then the big one is the last one, which works because it's a big motherfucker and it's slow. So yeah, the little one, the little tiny baby one comes and it sort of does this really erratic zigzag, and it looks like it shouldn't be able to move like that. It kind of makes you feel kind of sick looking at it, and it's gonna come and try and take a chomp out of you, Isaspella.
That does not do
It doesn't.
anything.
It does not. Okay, you with your cool Aarakocra acrobatic wizardliness, just like whoosh your hand out of the way at the right second because you figured out the trajectory somehow because you're that smart. And
Right.
it just sits in a space of air that your hand was before it makes this really gross hissing noise. The sort of medium-sized ones, both of those at the same time come bouncing towards your party. Okay, the one is aiming for, not Isaspella, because I just did you. Yeah, Fran and Colin. How does that deal with you?
Oh, that's a 17. That hits.
That hits.
And it's attacking both of us with one attack?
It's two. It's like there's a small one and a medium one, and they both kind of seem to be slightly joined. There's like a thin thread of this orange stuff between them, which is like, it really moves weird. It's like one of those ballista things, which is two balls on the edge of a string, and it's like, ooh, it's a weird thing to look at. It's like super uncanny the way that this thing moves. Okay, so
well, yeah, that will hit Fran.
Okay, that's fortunately it's still very small. So it's also splitting the damage that it's doing between the two. So you each take 1d6 plus 1. Oh god, that's like the worst it could be.
Oh, yikes.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's 7 acid damage each.
Yeesh.
Ow.
Sorry, buddies.
Ouch!
Sucks for all he is.
Yeah, but especially Colin. Oof, I'm very sorry, friend.
He's got a healing spell. Filthy
Yeah,
potion.
and
Potion.
you have all the potions. Okay, so that's the small evil things once done, and next it's Owl in the order.
Okay, so Spella, because she's at the front of the pack, she stands just so the rest of the group is behind her, and then she makes sure everyone is behind her, and then she squints a little bit, and she pulls out her wand, and she casts thunderwave.
Oh boy!
Oh, joys.
So, a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't pushed. Unsecured objects are also pushed away, and there's a really big, loud boom and all that other crud. And yeah, so basically, because I'm an evocation wizard, it means that the people behind me who I am taking into account don't have to roll for dex. They are just automatically fine.
That's super good. Nice. I
Nice.
like it.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to roll Constitution saving.
Yeah, and I have to roll the 2d8, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I hate to tell you this, but these actually do have relatively good Constitution, so it's +1. Right, so I wait for you to go first, right?
Okay.
Oh my, that's like max.
Yep.
So
That's
okay, that's an 8. That's not going to do it.
So Spella she whips out her wand, and she says, "Stop being an abomination," and then this wave of thunder crashes out of her wand and throws it hits all of the creatures in that cube, and they all take 8 damage.
Yeah, that's real good. The smallest one just disappears as this electricity hits it. It just sort of stops existing, and it's weird because usually when a monster dies, you either have a corpse or it dissolves into ink, which is cool and stuff like that. But there's this thing. It's like when it's gone, the world is back. It's more like you've fixed a hole in something than destroyed something, like you've mended something. And
All right.
yeah,
That's neat.
the others all do sort of wobble, but there's no discernible reaction. They have definitely taken that damage, but like these are weird things.
All right, so are the rest of you going to pull your weight, or do I have to start kicking some ass?
Well, we haven't exactly
There's
had the
been
time to
6
do anything
seconds.
yet.
I don't care. I just killed one of them, and all you've been doing is
Get
standing
kick
around.
him.
Gotta give us a
For the
chance,
last
mate.
6 seconds, you have been wasting time.
Whose turn is it now? Oh,
Sorry, it's Kai's turn. Yeah.
All right. The thing is, what I want to do is cast Prestidigitation because one of the effects it has is instantaneously snuffing out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. And I'm just wondering, considering these are burns, I realize, like, nitrate burns, would this work on them?
I'm gonna be kind of sorry because if you'd done that on the tiny one, I would have
Yeah.
allowed it. But these big ones, like, it's not gonna cut it, man. So, I mean, do you want to do that, or do you want to try something else?
I will try something else. I don't have any sort of spell shaping, so I'm not going to cast Thunderwave because everyone's right next to me. Yay!
He uses his whole brain.
Charlie is not a complete moron, thank you very much. Just most of one. Okay. I think, honestly, for lack of anything better to do, Charlie just, like, pulls out his sword and takes a swipe at one because he's not really sure. Whichever one is closest to him. So, like, one of the medium ones. B-A-D.
Yeah, I'm gonna say... Actually, let's tell you how this goes after you've attacked. Oh! Oh, that's beautiful.
Guessing that hits?
That's marvelous.
All right.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Plus-
That hits. That's a 22 for those listening.
Nice.
Woo. Yeah. Okay. So this is fun. So yeah, you swing that little sword, and it just goes right through these like semi-conjoined blobs, and it splits them in two. But they look really unhappy. Like they look like like this is the first time like you've seen a sort of reaction, because the first one just kind of went whoop and disappeared because it was so utterly destroyed. This looks like, yeah, if you put oil in water and you have two blobs and you like mess about with it, they sort of go spinning and wobbling and then split up. And yeah, they neither one of them look good after this. They're smaller than before, but they also look really angry. Like the orange has turned red.
Oh dear. Well, it was worth a shot.
Yeah, it's good. You did a good hit.
Colin's turn. As soon as one of them is split off.
Cranky, that is amazing.
Sorry, Cranky posting this choice art and I can't deal with it.
So as soon as the two blobs are like split apart, Colin shoots it with his crossbow. Like the smaller one. He shoots the smaller one with the crossbow. So that's a 1d8. Oh no, that's first I gotta roll an attack, and that's wait.
Sorry. I love that. Son of a bitch.
Ooh. Oh yeah, you need the exclamation mark, huh?
So that's 20.
Well, is it? Because I'm not sure if.
Wait.
No,
So-
yeah, that works.
So it hits. Good.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Alright.
That was a long silence.
Nice.
Okay. And oof. Yeah. So this little one looks like it's about to like turn and do some bad stuff to you, and it's very cool. Okay, so it sort of does a Matrix thing because it flies towards you as you let loose that little bolt, and the bolt just goes straight through it, and it sort of spatters into tiny little freckles of light. And again, it feels like you've mended part of reality. It doesn't feel like you've destroyed something. It's like you brought something back.
Good shot.
Nice. That's the first compliment I've heard from you.
You're the only one I respect.
Charlie's just like does the whole like lifting his arms up, like staring at Isaspella, like, what the heck? Should I have just left you to die back in that corridor then? Fine.
Look, I don't respect you, but I appreciate you. They're two different things.
So son.
Thanks.
Yeah, now it's Fran's go. You gonna wreck some shit?
Yeah, that's what Fran does. She's gonna give another shot. She's going to two-handed try and whack the warhammer at one of them guys.
Which one of them guys? You've got the huge one and a medium-sized blob.
She's gonna go for the big guy because it seems like it would be important to start whittling that guy down. Beep.
Good idea. But you actually do. You do hit because the big blob doesn't move. The big blob doesn't want to move, so it has really bad AC, like in terms of dodging. It's yeah.
Nice.
So that hits. That hits.
All right, and since I two-handed it, that means I get to do a D10.
Nice.
Ooh.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good shot.
You know what? Imagine hitting a big blob of blancmange or jello with a big hammer. It's like
Blancmange?
that. You do not? Does nobody know what blancmange is?
I don't.
I do.
That.
What is it?
It's It's blanc as in white, mange as in eat. It's a French thing. It's like jelly, but it's made with milk.
French thing.
It's super good.
Oh,
I
what the
recommend
fuck?
it.
It's an actual thing. Oh
Yeah,
my
dude.
god. What?
Why did you not think it was a thing?
Oh, it's sort of like a weird panna cotta. Oh.
Yeah, they're tasty. So it goes splot and wobble and then goes goosh back up in the middle because you splat it like a whack-a-mole and it sort of oozes outwards underneath the impact and then goes blong and comes back up in the middle. And yeah, it looks like that did something, but not a lot. Like, yeah, it's still there.
It is
For sure.
Hey,
Yep.
she's going to
And,
iron out this burn.
You're gonna what do?
Okay. Oh,
I missed the pun.
nothing.
Right. Okay. It is
She
now.
will get it back into shape.
Yeah. It's now the big blob's turn unless you've got like bonus actions that you could.
Well, I just get to hit things really hard.
Yeah, that was a good hit, and you did hit it. The big blob didn't like it. The big blob is gonna try and hit you, so that's gonna be a thing plus thing, and I hope this doesn't hit you. Oh, that really does hit you.
That
Oh god.
definitely hits me.
Sorry, guys. Well, you were like kind of obliterating the small ones, and now you know why. So this big one looks very cross. And that's weird because it doesn't have a face, it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't look like it has any sort of conceivable means of emoting, but it still looks like it doesn't like what you did to it. I'm really sorry about this. At least it's the fighter I'm like rolling the hit. And this could be worse, let's be fair. So that's a 2D. Oh, that's not bad at all. 2d6. Oh no, it's supposed to be 2d6. I'm so sorry, but that doesn't count because I got it wrong. It's 2d6 plus 2. That's 10. That's 10.
Oof. Yeah,
That's
she's
big...
not looking super hot.
Yeah, that's a big hit. But the thing is, because the big blob focused its entire attack on you, it doesn't do anything else, which it could have. So you win some, you lose some.
That's fair.
So, and then we're back around to the small ones. And fortunately for you guys, there's only one of those left. So, yeah, that one is gonna go for Isaspella, because Isaspella did like a big bad thing. And yeah, that's what it's gonna do. So,
That's what I get for being efficient.
Oh, fortunately, this thing is so like wigged out from what's going on, and again has no eyes, so they're not like particularly intelligent either. It goes to get you and completely misses. It like zips past your head and hits the wall like a disgusting acid non-existent blob. However, what happens is that it does a sort of spatter, and some of those freckly spatters, like, they almost look like the spotty artifacts you get on an old piece of film, and they land on you, and they feel really itchy. They suck. It's like nothing else happens, but they feel like the worst thing ever. You want this stuff off you.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, so it's Spella's turn now, right?
Yep, it is.
Okay, so Spella is going to cast a cantrip known as True Strike. So True Strike lets you point a finger at a target in range. Magic lets me see the target's defenses, like what it's weak against, and then I gain advantage on my first attack roll against the target that I make. So she's going to ignore the little blob that just tried to attack her and instead point her finger directly at the big blob and give it a look like, I gave you a chance to back off, man.
Okay.
Told you
yeah,
to stop
so
being an abomination, but you persisted.
Yep.
but no, you had to be there being abominable. Right, so what you understand about this big blob is it just is weird and shouldn't exist. It's like a glitch in reality. And if you leave it, it's going to get worse. Like, you understand that immediately. It's like a sort of cancer. It's like a tumor. And
Does it have anything like it's particularly weak against?
oh, I'm getting there because you understand that all of the attacks that it's likely to do to you are either going to be acid or radiant based. It's all made out of light and this sort of burning, hissing chemical stuff. It doesn't like water, and it is sitting on top of a water spring. So you sort of like, as well as understanding its weakness to water, you understand why it's here. Because it doesn't want water.
Okay, so Bella figures all of this out, and then her finger falls back to her side, and she looks under it, and then she turns to look at her compatriots, and she says, all right, listen up, I'm not going to repeat myself. It does acid and radiant damage, and also does not like water. So if you've got anything that will put this thing's lights out, so to speak, it would be very helpful.
What? Are you saying we should cry on it?
You can if you want, or you can just use, like, magic on it. If
Yeah,
you
I'll get
are a
on that.
bard or a wizard, which me and the cat are.
Thanks. Fairly sure I told you my name like 5 times by now.
Yes, Charles, I know. I'm being specific.
All right, so I'm guessing it's Charlie's go now. All right. Can I ask when you say like it's right on top of the spring? What is actually stopping the spring from working, or is it like because it is? It is. All right. So there's nothing I could really.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it in terms of like a film, whatever this thing is on is not, and it is currently on top of that piece of background drawing, and it just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Okay. If it were to
the film.
Yeah, so like if it were to move, would the spring would the spring start up again?
I'm gonna see what you can do to make it move, but that's gonna be very hard, I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I don't really have anything that's gonna make. I mean, I have Tasha's hideous laughter and see if that's gonna work on it, but I don't think it does, because unless it has an intelligence.
That's not going to do anything because these guys have an intelligence lower than 4.
All right.
Yeah, they don't have a sense of humor.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, who's most badly damaged then?
Fran.
Yeah.
All right, if Fran. All right, in that
3
case.
hit points left.
Sorry, how many?
3.
3? Okay, yeah, no, Charlie's gonna cast Cure Wounds on you because, yeah, no, if you're looking bad, we kind of need our fighter to still be alive. So that's 1.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, D8 plus 6. Okay, you are healed for 11 hit points.
Wow, nice.
Thank you.
Alright. I was like,
Very
alright.
much appreciated.
And Charlie just kind of yells out at everyone, okay, we can do this, guys, just keep it up.
Nice.
Okay,
I like the moral support.
Colin's turn. Colin sips a health potion because 6 HP. Can anyone tell me what I need to for health potion?
I have it written down somewhere. Let me just try and find it. It's 2d4 plus 2. If you roll that.
2d4 plus.
Okay, I'm back.
Well done. Hello.
That's a 6. Excellent.
Yay.
That's almost as much as I lost.
Hey. That's very, very good. Okay, yeah, and that's your go. Yeah.
Wait.
So,
if you wait a moment, I have another image.
Ooh.
Just a second.
Oh, this
please.
art, so spoiled.
Sorry, I just can't stop drawing.
It's amazing that you can do that at the same time as playing. I'm just stunned.
I do it all the time.
You're very talented, and we appreciate you.
I'm your biggest fan.
It's amazing.
Aw.
That's amazing. Yes, it's the best.
Okay,
Oh,
you
it's the
may
best.
continue.
Thank you
Love
so
that
much for
so
this.
much.
Like, Cranky, is it okay when I'm doing all the editing to put the images and stuff in this? Is it okay for me to put all these pictures in as well?
Absolutely. I will scan them and I will post them in like fan art, I guess.
Please do.
Because-
Yay.
So you don't have to deal with like
Yeah, I'll make sure
terrible
I'll make sure all the images are-
terrible phone camera photos.
Yeah, please.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, it's Fran's go.
Right. Fran will be like, all right, well, I'll use my wizard spell. And she hits it with her hammer.
Beautiful. Oh, yep, that.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
Okay, so we have
mighty
Revenge of the
wizard
Blamont.
Fran.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wizard spell of smack very hard.
It's not a spell, but you did good anyway.
Oh, someone's feeling generous.
Okay, yeah, you do the whack-a-mole Mark 2, and this time, yeah, it takes damage for sure because you notice it has got smaller. When you hit it, it spatters like the other one did, but because this one was bigger, it has made two tiny little bit, but they're really, really small. They're like the very first tiny sized ones.
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
But I realized that I don't. Does drinking a potion take up an entire action? Because I forgot to do anything else.
No,
I think it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
Sorry.
I had to do that in one of the other games. And,
Anyway,
yeah,
continue. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. That's great. Like, you must ask me and tell me things if I'm doing it wrong or if you have a question, because that's how the game works. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, it is now the big blob's turn, and it's already basically taken a reaction, and that was to split off two little tiny baby ones. But it's still in front of you, Fran, and it's still not moving, and it's still big, and it's still on top of the spring. So it's going to roll to try and hit you back because it didn't like that. But it's feeling kind of weak, so it's just +1. No, it doesn't do it. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it kind of does this weird blobby ooshy booshy, like it tries to look like a ditto and swat you with a blobby hand, and it can't quite manage it because it's small, and if it stretches any further than that would require, it would leave the spring. So you definitely know you're on the right course by like either just hitting it hard enough that it goes away completely, or like, yeah, doing something with water. And yeah, so
Right, everyone, on top of that stuff Izzy said, also hit it good. That works.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
Real good.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for free, but you'll have guessed this already, it is resistant to radiant and acid attacks, but you haven't done that, so it's fine.
Right.
Yeah. So now it is the little one's turn. So now you have two tiny, teeny weeny ones and this medium one that's not looking so hot. And yeah, what am I going to do with them? Okay, so the little ones actually got spattered so far that one of them is going to go after Charlie. So yeah, let's roll that. And these are teeny weeny ones, so they're kind of shitty.
Ooh,
oh my
that's
god, that's not shitty at all. That's
a crit.
Not 20. That's a crit and a hit. But like really, luckily for you, this is like a tiny thing, so it's only a D4. Yeah, that gets you though. So that would be a 1, but it's a 2. So
yeah,
that's it's not that bad.
2 damage. Okay, that's not bad. Charlie can stand that.
But the thing is, these teeny weeny ones, because I didn't get to do this before, this teeny thing comes and it kind of zigzags and then lands on your hand, and your hand doesn't exist.
Charlie screams.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it really sucks. And so yeah, you can't use double-handed anything. You have one hand, and it also feels like if you tried to move your arm away, it would pull whatever part of you is attached to that away, so you're stuck where you are. You can't move. Yeah. Okay, the other teeny wee one is going to try and do the same thing to Isaspella. So let's see how that goes.
Charlie's just gonna scream. Ooh!
I hate that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But again, like it's very small, and at least that
Not a
wasn't
crit, though.
Not a crit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
great.
hollow.
Fan-tucking-ass-fastic.
Oh, that's very, very funny, though. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, you take 4 hit points of damage, and this one goes for your right hand, and it does the same thing. So yeah, you can't use double-handed weapons, and you are stuck in place, and it feels fucking gross.
Fantastic. I'm right-handed.
I'm really sorry about that, dude. Yeah, the last one is the medium-sized blob, and it is going to go for Colin, and I really hope it doesn't hit you. Colin is a precious baby. It's pretty wobbly, so it's actually just going to be like a straight D20. It doesn't.
Nice.
It tries to get you, and it sorely overestimates how tall you are, and just kind of the ceiling of your head and splats into another piece of the wall. And it does this freckle thing again, so it spatters, and you get these film artifacts on you, which, yeah, they itch. They don't do any damage, but they feel like wrong. It sucks.
Bug bites.
Yeah, bug bites, basically.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're really itchy.
Someone get the Cal animation lotion. Or lotion. Cal animation? Calamine? God damn it.
I like it. Okay, Owl, it is your go.
Hooray! Okay, so Spella is now justifiably pissed because she has a blob of nothingness on her arm and she hates it. But she also still has her true strike for the big gun ready and waiting. So
Yeah.
she turns to look at Charlie and says, I was going to offer to cut your arm off so that you could go free, but I'm afraid that is not an option anymore, so I am just going to attack that one.
Think I'm good.
So she...
It's like, I think I'd rather keep both my arms. Got my own plan. Thanks.
Are you sure? You don't need to.
Nope, all good. I'm all good.
All right. If you change your mind, I'm right here. And then she turns around and she aims her ray of frost at the big one, which I get advantage on.
Nice.
And God, do I add my dex? No, it's just a +4 to hit, right? Or is my dex to hit?
4. You hear that, guys? Just a +4.
I'm trying to see if it's a +4 or a +3/+4. Because, like, that would be dex, because wizards cast with dex, so, yeah, it would be +7?
Wow. I don't know how that works, but I'm gonna let it happen. So, yeah, do that again, because you have advantage.
Okay.
Because 10 is going to do it. 10 is not going to do it.
That one's a bit better.
Yep, that hit.
All right, and then I gotta do 1d8. I have to look at my friggin' spell sheet because I can't read. Yeah, so d8. Where is the d? Yay, 4 points of damage on this thing, and it's a frost, like it's an ice attack, and ice is just really cold water.
Yep. It doesn't like do double damage, but what it does is it freezes the blob. The blob stops moving.
Hell yeah.
And it makes this sort of really nasty, like hissing noise, like if you threw water on an electric socket, and it smells like that too. But yeah, basically you've halved what the big blob can do, and normally that blob can do 2 moves, so that's very good.
Nice.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay, it's Kai again.
All right. You said that the one that is currently trapped on that has like trapped my hand and everything is really, really tiny, right? Can I try prestidigitation again?
Yeah, it's small.
All right, I cast
You absolutely
prestidigitation.
can try. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of like really confused, and by that I mean it kind of sputters. It's like trying to make an excuse as to why it should continue to exist, and it fails the argument and just goes and disappears. And you're fine.
It fails the argument.
If it works, it
can't
works.
beat cartoon logic. Like, yeah, it's good. Prestidigitation is one of my favorite things. So, like, yeah you got it.
Yeah. Charlie also kind of like after getting rid of it and just kind of like, oh god, thank fuck, I've got my hand back. Obviously not swearing because Toons, but yeah, he runs over to go next to Isaspella to get rid of like the one stuck on her hand next. But he can't do that till his next go.
Yeah, I was going to say, but that's fair enough. Okay, it is now Cranky's turn.
Thank you, Charles.
It's Charlie, but fine.
Charles sounds better.
You sound just like my nan.
Charlie.
Is it not my turn?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you a vaudeville actor?
So, Colin
Sound like my
shoots
nan.
one that is unattended, the one that flew past him last time.
That's the medium-sized one.
Yeah. So, medium-sized one. That's a 10.
You know what? It's looking so shaky, I'm going to allow it, because it's just, like, head-butted the floor, and it's
Okay.
oh, yeah, you do hit it.
Good.
What do you do? It's a crossbow attack, probably?
Yeah, that's D4.
Oh my god, yeah.
Nice.
You total this thing. Like it looks like it's about to kind of peel itself off the floor and make another attempt at doing something helpful, which it never gets the opportunity to do because this bolt just goes slamming into it. And yeah,
Nice.
You want to say ceases?
Pardon?
It got Colin. You want to say it ceases to exist, but it's actually more like the world resumes existing again.
Colin blows imaginary smoke off his crossbow.
I love it. I love that. That's very, very good.
Spella looks up.
I'll give you insp. But, yeah.
Spella looks up from her arm, and you just killed the big one, right?
No, the big one's still there, dude.
Okay, thank God, because otherwise she was about to be like, oh, shit, that thing's the only thing plugging the spring.
We'll cross that bridge when we burn it.
Thanks. Yeah. That's very reassuring. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's Fran's go. It's Fran's go.
All right. Well, speaking of the only thing blocking the spring, Fran doesn't care. She wants to make this non-existent thing cease existing so that other things can exist. So
figure that one out, folks at home. Yeah, that gets it good.
Alrighty.
Oh, roll damage. What are you hitting it with? The big hammer again?
Yeah. Why fix what ain't broken?
Mm-hmm.
Keep playing whack-a-mole with reality. It's
right.
Yep.
Yes.
Nice.
Whack the mole.
Yeah. You whack the mole and you whack it good, and you whack it so good that it shatters, and it like leaves a crack in reality for a second, and then poof, it's fixed, and the world is fixed, and the spring is fixed, and the water sort of makes this sort of noise for a second, and then it just goes whoosh, and it's like this, you know, when you've trodden on a hose and the water's built up, and then you let go of it, and it squirts your friend in the face, and it's really, really funny. So that happens to all of you. The good thing is that as this water comes gooshing out, all of the other acidy, evil things just get destroyed. They just disappear. They are completely gone. But you are very quickly just swept off your feet by all this water, and you go sailing, like forced like a cannon out of this eyeball-shaped room and past the bell and you go shooting down the left-hand channel. And guess what? It's a really fun happy time slide. You are in a water park.
Woo!
And it's just the best.
Spella is
It's
screaming.
It's if you enjoy this kind of thing, it's the best.
Colin is screaming, but with joy.
Yes, very, very good. And as you're sailing down this canal with the water flowing underneath and around you, you hear the bell toll, and it's muffled by the water, and it sounds beautiful. Like before, it was so loud and harsh, and it just sounded like empty and echoey. This feels like music, and it's happy. And if you roll a wisdom saving throw, it doesn't really matter because you are overwhelmed with happy tears because you are in them. And yeah, you just go flying out of the happy side of this waterfall that has started up. And oh, look, it's just like these really unbelievable cartoons where as soon as you fix one problem, all the other problems disappear. And all the flowers are back. It's beautiful. And the birds are singing, and the trees are dancing, and the flowers are doing a little jig. And it's like, it's really, really nice. And yeah, it's, you have solved my Weeping Bell puzzle. Congratulations, everybody.
Ah!
Yay!
Well done. You did you handled all of that really, really well. So yeah, you've landed back in the lake, and I'm just gonna guess you swim to shore and have a good chuckle and about what everything happened, and you're completely soaking wet. So
I have seawater in my ears.
Wasn't
You do.
technically a sea, so water, yes, sea,
It's salt water. What do you want from me, Charles?
God.
Colin splashes her with the water.
Hey! Oh. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you all have a typical end of the show cartoon fun playing in the water time, and yeah, so we can sort out rewards later, but basically you have still got 3 health potions that you can split between yourselves, and yeah, when you get back to the pub, the entire place just celebrates your return, and everyone is very, very happy and miraculously knows what you did because cartoons, and yeah, you get free food on the house, and afterwards you are allowed to choose an item from their attic from this pub. So we'll figure out what items you get, or you can just take gold of the equivalent. So hooray! You did real good!
Yay! Go team!
Extremely entertaining, and you did very, very nicely.
So-
Oh, thank you for letting me play with you. Hooray!
This was a lot of fun. Thank you
I'm
for
so glad we
DMing.
got to do this.
We never gave our team a name.
Ah, one failing. You can make one.
I've got a
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I
these
love
are all
all of this.
amazing.
Fran is the best.
So good.
These are spectacular.
amazing.
I love it.
So much. That was A plus
He's the
2
most
everybody.
powerful wizard.
Yes.
Go be a meat shielder.
Oh,
Yes. Oh, I need a Colin
Oh.
plushie right now. I really do.
Colin is the cutest.
Oh wait, no.
All
Do
the
I have
bugs.
a colored? Did I put? Oh no, I have a colored version of that. Well, not loosely colored.
Oh, these are just so good, though.
They're
Yeah.
so
Wow.
cute. I love them.
Oh, what is happening?
These are all
Good.
such good drawings.
These are amazing.
Oh my life. Oh,
Squonk
Okay.
right between the little bits. Ow.
Bless you,
Absolutely.
Cranky.
No
yeah,
problem.
Frankie, I'm gonna give
Honestly,
It was really fun.
Charlie,
Colin an
can I just
inspiration.
say,
drawing.
Yeah.
Charlie is adorable. His whole look is so cute.
Thank you.
Charlie is a good boy.
I'm glad you like him. He's absolutely gonna
you're all
keep
really-
pestering
Yay.
Isaspella, but I swear he's a good guy.
He's a good boy.
It's okay. Spella really only works when she has someone to pester her. Because, she's a straight man character. If you don't give her someone to be frustrated against, she's not as funny.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
Jolly-
that.
Those
Yeah.
are the
and
rules.
and like they bounce off each other well.
You're the only one I respect.
Yeah. Also, Fran being like the backbone of moral support and like jovialness was very, very cool. So.
Mhm.
And
So
of course,
Colin is
I
just
just like the
cutest.
fact that Colin is in fact the de facto leader.
Yeah.
He's a good tiny boy.
Like, he's the
He was
stoic and
effectively a
silent
boss,
type.
was
Like, Colin seems like,
It's
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
mostly because I was like, oh dang, what do I say? I haven't played with this character much. I don't know what to say.
it was
It
so
works.
good though.
It worked really nicely.